What's going on, gang? Reporting to you live from a chairlift. You know, honestly, I should probably just film this once I get off the chairlift. Maybe that means I get to do the fun YouTuber thing where, you know, you ski up to the camera, which looks really good post-editing, but you don't get to see the part where the person has to set up the camera and then like hike back up the mountain and ski down to it. The editors are gonna include that now, aren't they? God damn it. Holy shit, it's so fucking... It's really wet. Oh yeah, rule of thirds who. Howdy friends, my name is Milo Rossi, and today it is a magnificent 60-degree spring day here at beautiful Burke Mountain, Vermont. And the reason I'm here today is to celebrate something very special. That is, of course, an entire 3 million subscribers on YouTube. This is actually all on you guys, so give yourselves a big round of applause. I can't even be a single one of those subscribers, so I have not contributed to this achievement in any way. In May, it's gonna be 5 years since I made my first video on TikTok, and if you told me then that making that first video would kind of start the butterfly effect that would lead me to where I am right now, I would never have believed you. Needless to say, I'm absolutely overjoyed with this journey and could not be happier to see where it is and where it continues to go. And so before we get into this very special video, I want to propose a toast to all of you there. We got Coors, the banquet beer, to raise one up with. Ooh. I, of course, want to propose this toast to all of you as a sincere thank you for the support that has allowed the channel to get to this point. But today, in this video, this toast is for a very special group of people, a group that you already know and love, even if you aren't aware of it. You see, I talk a lot about how I may be the one in front of the camera, but the only reason these videos are even possible and look half as good as they do is because of my incredibly capable team. Since I'm the one in front of the camera for every single video, I thought that to celebrate this 3 million subscriber milestone, I would take this video to take a step back and instead give the spotlight to my unbelievable creative team so that you get to meet the people who really make these videos possible. You'll get to learn each of their stories of how we started working together, some of their favorite memories from working on the team, and get a unique look behind the curtain at the process and the people that make all of these videos possible. So without further ado, I will raise a toast and cede the floor to the wonderful team behind Miniminuteman.
Hello everybody, my name is Gianfranco.
Hi, I'm SJ.
Hi, my name is KJ.
Hi everyone, my name is Josh.
My name is Cale.
Hello, my name's Zaboski.
I'm Brittany. This is Murphy.
Hey Google debunkers, my name is Julie Smollett.
And I'm part of the video editing team. My credentials for that are basically that I am a professional YouTube addict. And my resume is very impressive. I have well over 10 years experience watching all sorts of content creators, a lot of science communicators as well, which is how I ended up here, I guess. You know, I would indulge in making some videos on my own, on and off over the years. Not unlike the 2-week Minecraft phase we all go through. Watching a lot of those science communicators on YouTube inspired me to go to school to actually study some of that. So I went into university to study some geology. And pretty much at the same time, I discovered this long-haired funny guy on TikTok that talked about geology and archaeology. So right up my alley. You know, I was really hyped for him to start posting long form on YouTube. His channel at the time looked like this. Only that video, I was pretty disappointed that there was nothing there yet to binge. But as soon as he started posting, I just started watching religiously every single video as it came out. And it was really, really fun. I really liked it. And one day he posted something about looking for a video editor. That is the hardest word for me to pronounce in English. Editor. You know what it is. And so I applied. It wasn't the first time I tried applying to something like that, so I, didn't expect much of it. But one random Thursday, as I was sitting in class, history class that I specifically chose not to do any math, I actually got an email from Miniminuteman. So it's safe to say I didn't pay attention to much of the class after that and ran out the door as soon as it was over, ran to my car, and just sat there reading the email. And I felt like Charlie getting the golden ticket, but I was getting selected for the editorial Hunger Games. Because he selected like 10 of us and we got to show him our skills in one of his videos a little bit more personally. He liked my work, and so that first tryout video ended up being the Dendrolite video, an awful archaeology video. We all missed that. So yeah, I started working with Milo like June 2022 and the channel was at like 600 1,000 subscribers or so. So I've been here for a while. At first I did 100% of the work. Milo shot everything, sent me the raw footage. I tinkered with it, and that's what you saw on YouTube. Those first videos I edited were not very good editing wise. So thank God Milo has a great on-screen personality, because you were not here for the editing or the audio quality back then.
Hi, my name's Milo.
But for a while now, I've been part of a larger team here at Miniminuteman Productions, which are responsible for most of the work that you see on these videos now. But now my job is mostly following SJ's lead, because they are absolutely great at leading us and giving some organization to this whole project, and working on more cinematic-ish parts of videos. So whenever Milo starts talking, about the more hard-hitting stuff and more dramatic things with dramatic music, I'm probably editing a lot of that.
Hi, I'm SJ, and I think I can do better than this. Delightful. Hi, I'm SJ. I'm the production manager and editing team lead. For any particular video, I'll be setting a timeline of sorts. When do we need footage from Milo? When does this need to be rough cut by? On top of that, I make the shot list for each video, which keeps track of where in a video there are edits to be made, who's taking care of it, what the status of that edit is. Having everything visible together in one place really helps with time management, and also prevents us from making too many edits that overlap each other and then totally neglect some other section of the video. And the other little thing that goes with that editing team lead part is that I make the rough cuts for most videos. I joined the team in July 2024, so the first video I worked on was The Ghost of the Green Sahara. My previous experience that I brought to this role does have more to do with that managerial stuff. I've been staffing anime cons for nearly a decade at this point, and that includes leadership roles. But I also used to be a graphic designer for a production company where I was straddling their marketing and live events departments. So at any given time, I could be working on key art, social media graphics, on-screen graphics, photo ops, whatever needed to get done that day. When it comes down to video editing, I have a minor amount of formal education, but the work examples I sent to Milo on my application were AMVs. My practical skill there comes far more from just doing stuff because I could and I wanted to. I've been doing that since I first got access to iMovie when I was like 10. One of you asked about this sort of thing. Liminal areas. What was the first thing you ever edited? What was the first editing software you ever used? Videos of my dog in the yard, videos of me making crafts, fake trailers. I think everyone should do and make things just because they can. You're gonna start out bad at it. Be bad at it. Dating Muffin XD asked, what's your unanimously best advice? That's my advice. Make mistakes, learn by doing. Kill the part of you that cringes.
Hey, first and foremost, you're probably wondering why I'm a glowing orb in an ominous room instead of a real person. And that's because, if I'm being honest, I don't prefer to show my face to hundreds of thousands of strangers. Though I'm sure you guys are really nice. I'm just not ready for that stage in our relationship. At least take me to dinner first. Secondly, shout out to Cale for the setting inspo. His TV for the Ancient Aliens video was awesome, and it translates really well for this video, so I can show you a few things that I like. That includes SpongeBob, Dream Theater, and caterpillars. I was hired as an editor in July of 2024. Editor is more of an umbrella term, as I also do animations, graphics, corrections, research, and captioning depending on what's needed. Each video is really an amalgamation of everyone on the team. We all do research, bits, graphics, and what have you, depending on what's needed. It's like our own Frankenstein's monster. If I had to say, I'd probably be the monster's kneecaps. Not something you always think about, but if you didn't have them, you'd probably notice. Growing up, I always was a very artsy kid, be it visual arts, theater, playing music. I like to dress up and film funny videos with my sisters and create weird characters in my various sketchbooks. Did anyone else have that freaky ass Barbie that had a camera in her chest? Let me know if you did and what your experience was like with that if you did, because it was not a great camera. Or if you had pregnant Barbie. Or the one Barbie dog that could poop. Why make poop that looked like brown Tic Tacs for kids if you didn't want me to eat it? I pretty much always knew I wanted to have a career involved in the arts. And at first I wanted to be a musician, then a food photographer, and as a kid I really wanted to be a wolf. But I pivoted in college and majored in new media. Basically it's everything related to modern media. I learned various types of artistic mediums such as animation, interactive media, videography, graphic design, and I even took a class on weaving. I also minored in computer science before I decided that it was soul crushing and dropped it. So I can hand code a website, but you will have to kill me before I would do that ever again. 2 years ago, I had recently graduated college, unemployed, and was scrolling YouTube shorts, unemployed behavior, when I saw Milo's short about looking for an editor. So I applied and the rest is history. Here's bits from my application video we had to edit and send in. I'm sure Milo was so tired of hearing about Dogtown. I spent like 2 months on it, so I was tired of hearing about Dogtown. It was fun though, I had a good time.
Hi everyone, my name is Josh and I am one of the editors here at Miniminuteman. I do a lot of different things here, but the most interesting and the part that you guys probably appreciate the most is adding the jokes. So I don't know if it's something I gravitate towards or if it's because Milo and I have like a very similar sense of humor, or it could be that I'm just like not as smart as SJ or Cale, so I don't have much to add in that realm of his video edits, but that's just sort of where I landed. So the way this works is Milo makes a script, records a video, and SJ takes all that footage, cuts it up into something that's actually watchable. That's when all of us editors watch what SJ made and we make comments on it. And I usually comment stuff like Minecraft sound effect would go hard here. No one has an exact specific job here. We all kind of pitch in different aspects. So of course, a lot of the jokes are other people too, you know, and I do have something intellectual to add from time to time. But if you want to see mainly what I add to the videos, a really good example is last year's April Fool's video about Buc-ee's. Now, of course, we all worked on it, but that was probably my favorite video I've worked on so far, and I did a lot for that. So that one was super fun. Definitely check that one out if you haven't. By the way, I make fun of Milo a lot in these videos. Usually the jokes that are at Milo's expense are thanks to me. So big shout out to Milo for being cool with that. So sorry, but I think it's so funny. And then also like all the Atlantis rage baiting, that's not Milo's idea. That's usually my idea. And I don't do it to be mean to you guys. I do it to remind Milo that he has to do Atlantis. Does that make sense? I'm not putting in an Atlantis like little mention or meme because I want you guys to suffer. I do it to show Milo how much suffering there is, because I joined like a year ago. Pseudoarchaeology was my favorite, you know, videos that he does. I still haven't been able to work on one. So Milo, get your shit together. Chop chop, debunker boy. So Milo posted that he needed an editor. He sent out a Google survey. So I was like, there's no way I can be recognized in here. So what am I going to do to stand out? I decided to mention like 5 or 6 times that I could backflip a BMX bike, which, you know, I don't even know if it was the reason, but it did get me to the second round. So who knows? After that, he called a few people back to actually edit some footage he had. So I was really happy about that. I did what I could with that footage, but I also set up my camera, much like it is now, and recorded a little intro. And much like I'm introducing myself to you guys, I introduced myself to Milo for the first time in a setup much like this. So that's kind of poetic in a way, you could say.
Oh, hey, it's you. Thanks for joining us. My name is Cale. I've been in the credits of a lot of videos lately. I'm listed as animator, but I do a little bit more than that. I kind of see myself somewhere between the creative lead and the art director. We are a little bit more egalitarian. We haven't broken up the rules. These are your jobs, these are your jobs. We kind of work together and try to get the job done no matter what. People are open and free to try things out if they want to, bound by whatever job rule they were given when they applied for a job working with Milo, and it's been really great. I'm primarily responsible for the motion graphics, the designs and animations that are seen in the videos, and everyone on the team also does a little bit of research themselves just to verify, double, triple, quadruple check, or correct anything that might come out. We still get some stuff wrong, but I think we do a pretty good job. So I usually do the designs and the animations for the titles, chapter cards, and other things like that. I've also worked really hard to develop some motion graphics templates, we call them Mogerts, for the editors to use inside of the videos, so there's still a component of something moving around and it feels a little bit more alive than just a static image on the screen. I started working with Milo when he was on his last leg of recording Dark Roots, so it's been a few years now, and I came on to primarily develop a visual style and the motion graphics and maps and stuff for Dark Roots, and we've kind of just taken it from there. We've done a bunch of different projects, multiple series, multiple mini-series, some standalone episodes, starts and stops, and it's been really awesome. I like to say that I joined for Dark Roots and I stayed for the party. If you're curious about what kind of YouTube I consume, here's a list. I strongly recommend you look at Craftsman. People wanting to know my process. It's involved. It's changed over the years as well, working with Milo. We don't really have time to do designs and get them approved. I'm just designing as I make the animations themselves usually, and that's okay. That's okay. I've gotten more comfortable with working on that. Milo gives me carte blanche to do what I want, and it's been really fun to just go really hard on some shots and pull it back and reserve it for other ones. I try to do the most important requirements first and then do at least one supplemental shot that's my own, that pushes my skills a little bit more, or I can challenge myself to learn something new. We're still a very scrappy team, but we're very agile and we can adapt and do many things that other people can't. We're integrated, so I can work really closely with the editors to get footage or get changes and then incorporate them into the animation, like send out another update, and we can usually get updates done within, one afternoon. If you're curious about my process, you can go to my YouTube channel. I will post a little bit more behind the scenes on what I do. It wouldn't be set up as a tutorial, but it would be set up to show what I did on a particular job. I talk about the programs and the plugins, or the process really of what I did. I'm going to post a couple right now. One for the Ancient Aliens episode is up. It's just a live stream. In addition to that first episode where I talk about Ancient Aliens episode 1, I will talk about Ancient Aliens episode 2, particularly the psychedelic face exploding scene. Again, not a tutorial, just a process documentation. After that, I plan on posting the full cut of this Q&A, my version of it, where it's only my answers for almost every question that was submitted on our Q&A sheet.
Hello, my name's Zaboski. I do all the merch production for Milo's channel, and I also happen to be his partner. I am from Los Angeles. I went to school in North Carolina at Warren Wilson College. Check it out. And I now live in Vermont with Milo. My job consists of thinking about what you all might enjoy and bringing it to life. I know a lot of you are fans of Milo's personal style. A lot of those clothes that he wears were initially mine, or I picked out for him. So sometimes I like to call myself his personal stylist as well, but it's more of a secret job title. I joined the team officially in the summer of 2024, though I did do some designs for Milo a little bit before that while I was still in college. I have known Milo though for about 4 years, and started following him on YouTube when he only had roughly 200,000 followers. I have a degree in biology and a minor in art, as well as a minor in science communication. And that minor in SciComm is actually the reason I met Milo. In college, I was in a science communication class, and we needed someone to come talk about short form content creation. I followed Milo on TikTok. He had about 1.2 million followers at that time, but he only had a few thousand on Instagram. So I reached out to him, and he responded and came to our talk. After that, we stayed friends for about a year, and then around Valentine's Day 2023, he came back to my campus and gave another talk, at which point we started dating. My little iPad that I do all of my work on. I do have a laptop that I also do some editing on, but most of my designs are drawn on an iPad, which is a really good tool. There's probably some better ones, but I find that it does exactly what I need it to. This is my workspace. Like 50% of the work I do is just in my head. For me, at least, art doesn't just come out of the pen out of nowhere. I have to think on different designs, the context of those designs, and also pull from what I know about Milo, what I know about the channel, and also what I know about the fans and what you all might actually enjoy versus what I enjoy or my aesthetic preferences are. Once I figure that out, I kind of start to hunt for references. A perfect copy from my brain is not always going to be as accurate as I would like to, so I always like to have a reference image either printed out or on the screen in the little reference box. Sometimes I can't find a reference image that I'm looking for, so I do a lot of photo bashing, which is essentially the process of taking multiple different images and bashing them together to get the image that you're looking for. Essentially creating your own reference or photoshopping your own image. And I generally really like to emulate screen printing designs because that's actually how I started out, was in college teaching myself how to screen print. And so I like to keep that look in my digital designs.
I'm Brittany. This is Murphy. Together we are Brittany Murphy, rest in peace. That is for all my Clueless fans. I am Milo's producer, and I've been working with him for almost 2 years, and it's been one of the best things I've ever experienced. I think of Milo as someone who is an astronaut with a YouTube channel, and I don't know, he's like nobody I've ever met before. I primarily help him with his overall strategy, so where he wants to take the channel and where he wants to take the Miniminuteman brand. So I help advise him and provide recommendations on what he wants to do and how he wants to evolve the channel and where he wants to go next. Before I started working with Milo, I worked on a lot of other social impact projects. I know Murphy thinks it's a little boring, but I worked on a bunch of social impact projects, primarily focused on public education, which big fan of public education. Really wish we could spend more time on public education. Really would love that to be part of our strategy for a civic society. But I think that's kind of a little bit of where my zest and quest for knowledge comes in, but also just this equitable part of learning. I think that I'm from the Midwest, and I was very fortunate to have really good public school experience. I went to Creighton, and then I decided to get out of there. No, I graduated from Creighton, and I started working with startups right away. I was cutting my teeth really fast out of college with a lot of like hot, cool, fun tech companies who were excited to bridge the gap between the coasts and meet up in Nebraska. So I got to experience a lot of like internet pioneers. I brought Gary Vaynerchuk to Omaha. If anybody's on the internet looking at marketing, Gary V, he's the man. It was really fun to be a part of that era, and I like to call myself a grandma on Canva, because Canva is basically like Microsoft Paint now. So if you're curious about the products I use, it's that.
Hey Google debunkers, my name is Julie Small and I am Milo's research assistant. I joined the Miniminuteman team about September of 2024. Essentially my job consists of doing preliminary research for videos and during production, helping the editing team source things, fact-checking, finding information for the pop-ups, and photos. I got interested in research with my college major, which was history education. I was studying to be a teacher, and essentially I learned that I love research. So how do I conduct my research and fact-checking? Well, depends on the topic, but generally, if we're doing a theory, I will go look at what the theory says, who said it, person's background, that kind of stuff. I'll look into some other major proponents of who said it, and then I'm going to go look for what other experts say. Google Scholar is my to-go-to mainly when I am looking for primary and expert opinions, because they have a lot of journal articles from reputable journals all over the world, not just the United States. That is how I find my sources anyway. When I am fact checking, it's usually I am watching the video for the first time before we go into full production. If I need a source for what Milo quotes, I'll go look for it. If one of the editors catches something and goes like, hey, we need a source for this. Or if one of the editors even says, hey, I know about this subject, and can you double check this for me? But I'm pretty sure it's this. And that's more or less how I do my research and my fact checking. I essentially taught for 5 years in a couple of different states. And when I knew I was going to be leaving teaching because it was stressful, I started looking for a work from home job. Lo and behold, I was already a fan of Milo's, and during the Philip Ziba video, he mentioned that he needed a fact checker. When he said that, I knew that was my chance to be part of something bigger. So, sent in my resume, my writing samples, and about 3 months later, Milo got back to me saying like, hey, you want to do a test run? And it's been history since then. As a boss, Milo has probably been one of my best ones. He's really chill, and he's really open to ideas that I bring to the table or the team brings to the table. And yeah, he has a bunch of ideas, which who wouldn't with what the content he covers? But he's always open to our ideas and your guys' ideas too.
As I've mentioned in some of my videos before, Z is the brains behind sort of the merch side of things on the channel. I get we all need to make our bag, but I'd rather do it, putting beautiful art into the world rather than shilling out for, a VPN that's probably just stealing all your data anyway, if I'm being honest. Conspiracy Milo for a second, but I have no proof that they aren't, okay? I mean, it's the perfect way to steal data, isn't it? Be like, hey, guys, you're worried about your data, right? Well, it's safe with me. Trust me on this one. Anyway, I digress. And I also really appreciate the support from all of you guys in me kind of sticking to my guns on my convictions about sponsorships. Now, if you're interested in any of Z's designs and the cool merch from the channel, you can check that out at the Miniminuteman store, miniminuteman.com, and the link will be down below. We have all kinds of fun stuff like this, which is cool and fun, and our latest release of the Awful Archaeology poster and stickers. By the way, tune into this year's episode of Uncut Vermont podcast to learn more about what's happening with Atlantis. I swear it won't all just be an April Fool's joke, but on behalf of myself and the rest of the team, we greatly appreciate all purchases. I know that money is a challenging thing in the world right now, and if it were up to me, I would just do all of this for free for the rest of my life, but the least I can do, if there is going to be money moving hands, is to at least put something good and beautiful out into the world. So I want to really thank Z for helping make that happen. It's been amazing to see the reception, and I want to thank all of you guys for being so supportive and being willing to, purchase these things and have them as part of your life. I think we just hit 1,000 sales on the posters, and it was a really lovely conversation to talk with Z and have her be like, oh my God, there are 1,000 of these in the world, like in people's houses that they look at. So just know that it really means a lot to us. And this isn't, I never want to seem like I'm just the YouTuber shilling out for some, my name, just Milo on a hoodie for $95. Anyway, I'm rambling. If you're interested in any of these goodies, please check out the shop. It means the world to us. Link to that is in the description. And I'll cede the floor once again to the wonderful creative team.
We're also working to get some other series back, working in parallel with the team so that there's more than one thing in production at a time. We're working to get Dark Roots back up, and maybe some other projects that I'm not sure I can talk about without Milo sending a hit team on me. And throughout these almost 4 years now, Milo has never let go of my hand. He put his trust in me even in hard times and continues to do so every day. He's given me the opportunity to do what I love for a living, to meet so many wonderful people like everyone in this team. He's invited me to go shoot videos with him from New England lakes to the Peruvian Andes. The Peru videos will come out at some point, we promise. He's even opened the doors to his house for me and let me stay there for a whole summer. Something I will never forget in my life, ever, because it was sick. It was great. I enjoyed my time there so much. They say that the people you surround yourself with and call your friends says a lot about you. And I couldn't be happier or prouder to be able to call Milo my friend. He's changed my life forever, for the better, and I'm just really happy I have been able to be a part of building this amazing project that now 3 million of you guys are enjoying. Now that we got that shitty sentimentality out of the way, Doggett says I have to talk about my hobbies and things I like. So let's make this quick. Other people have shit to say and talk, like playing guitar and bass. The neighbors are gonna kill me. It's almost midnight. I love listening to music, and I got this whole collection of vinyls. Got a lot more somewhere else, but these ones are the ones on display. And a friend of mine just recently gifted me the Minecraft soundtrack on vinyl. This is my dirt collection. I'm a geologist dropout, but I still like dirt and rocks. Fun fact, that is from Milo's backyard. And of course, the one with radioactive mold is from Central Park. I am currently reading the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. I'm on book 3, please, no spoilers. And finally, a question by CLNCJB94. What is your favorite dinosaur? That has to be a Nanotyrannus. I actually have a Nanotyrannus tooth, which is fucking sick, which is actually gifted to me by D. Clayton Phipps, which makes it even more sick in my opinion. That's just about it for me. Just go on to the next person.
I personally really like to collect things too. I really like brass items, as you can see my little guys here. I also have a little mini bottle collection as well. This one's like a little house. So I like to collect little things. I also have a collection of Sony Angels, and I like sweet little guys. I mean, that's why I like Milo. Duh. My favorite video game is Tomb Raider. I was not allowed to play video games so much growing up because I was a child of a Waldorf school, and I convinced my parents that I could play a few games. 1, Pop Tropica, 2, Animal Jam, and 3, Tomb Raider. And I love Lara Croft. I am aware that the game is not perfect, much like how Indiana Jones is not perfect, but she was my huge role model growing up, and I was really into archaeology because of that. When I was 16, I was an archaeologist field assistant at Chaco Canyon, and that was probably one of the peak experiences of my life. It was really, really fascinating to go and see that location and to have an understanding for what the Native Americans were creating in this country.
In October, I went with Milo and Z to meet with Dr. Brad Lepper, and we got to check out the Great Hopewell Road. And one of the things I will never forget is just feeling like I couldn't see what I was there to see. A cul-de-sac, walked through a field, got a little twisted around, couldn't see very much. Z had me on the second camera. I had no idea where the road was going. I didn't really know what I was getting at there, but what I did get was when we were at the fundraising Q&A, like Dr. Lipper showed that he's been working on this for like 30 years. And the fact that like Milo's cranked out like 3 videos talking exclusively about his work, the millions of eyeballs, millions of eyeballs on this, and people who are caring about a place, like I'm jacked up about Ohio because I'm like, this is amazing. How do we not know about this? Now it's like, it's just amazing to be a part of something that like Milo is reaching people and sharing research with a whole new subset of people who are just curious and want to learn more, and he's able to buddy up with academics who are just elated to have their work be on blast in a way that it just warms my heart in a really sweet way, but also it's just like, damn, that's impact. So that was really cool. Also, it was cool to actually go to the actual Great Circle because that is very, very inspiring, and I did see it. So that was good. Yeah, it's right next to a Chipotle. That's fun.
Favorite episode to work on? I have a few. I really enjoyed the Great Raft and Vampires video. I love the vibe of the Vampires video. I love spooky shit, and it was really fun to edit and learn about and do research for. Great Raft was another interesting topic that I just really loved learning about. I love videos like that where it's just like something that happened in history or just like a random archaeological topic. I miss awful archaeology just as much as you guys, okay? And the bizarre world of mummy tattoos was also super interesting, and I think that it deserves more views than it has. I know it has like 1 million views, but I think that it should have a bajillion views, so you should definitely check that one out. It was cool. I love mummies and tattoos. I love mummies and tattoos. It's like, what else could you want? Mummies, tattoos. I can't think of a third thing.
The video called "Why Do You Need a Rock Sling?" That's the reason why I reached out to Milo. His friendly attitude and like carefree approach to teaching material breaks down all walls and makes it so easy to learn. Watching him do that was really cool. Watching the video, how it was edited, I loved the slow-mo. Gianfranco did a really good job with that, and the music, and I could see it gave me a peek into a vision of what might be possible working with a YouTuber.
And now, I think it's just about time for an outfit change. In my opinion, one of the most important things to any job, let alone a creative job, is continuing to engage with the arts outside of your job. For me, that's making clothes, playing video games. I'm up to nearly 50 endings in 100 line. But that also applies to taking inspiration from other people in your field and what they're doing. And there's plenty of stuff on YouTube that's had a measurable impact on how I edit and my sense of humor. For example, there's Matt Baum. He makes documentary style videos on queer pop culture history, and he gets into a lot of the real world context that is inextricably intertwined with the stuff that ends up on screen. Then there's Strange Aeons, who's a little harder to nail down like that, but she does a lot of stuff with fandom history, subculture pieces, deranged internet legends. And then there's which I would never dream of describing. But big shout out to Trixie's current editor too, because you are also hilarious.
We're trying to give everyone equal amounts of time. I think some people are more shy than I am, or maybe I've just caught Milo's gift of yap. But I've got over 1.5 hours of trimmed, edited, question-answering goodness. So come on over to Cale Oglesby on YouTube.com. Now, I'm not saying the video is going to be 1.5 hours over there, but it'll be long. It'll be wide. It'll be hard to fit in your brain.
Do you say meow?
Nothing.
Oh, she made a little peep. And then this is Lupin. She also had little sniffs to say. They're my daughters, and
Oh fuck,
they're killing each other. Let me see if I can catch this. Thoughts? Feelings? Why do you think you're gonna win this fight?
Alonzier, with a master profile picture, asks a very important question. Do you like Doctor Who? I was a prime era Super Wholog. You might have come across one of my popular Tumblr posts or DeviantArt photo edits, but you're never gonna know which ones they are. I fell off watching for a little while, but Rogue did terrible, terrible things to my heart. Also, I'm still there on Tumblr, so I see you. And I think the next question requires another costume change. Tabitha AF asked a few good questions, but I'm just gonna answer the first one. Do you have an editing moment or bit in a video you're particularly proud of, and if so, which one? Right at the beginning of the Vampire Graves of Europe, there's that screen fill of various vampire media. Obviously, I'm a big fan of such content, so I wanted to make sure to get a little bit of something for everyone in there. And the Astarian clip is actually a screen recording of my own game. More recently, I'm pretty proud of the Stray Kids bit. My sister's the one who's actually a Stay, so you can thank her for putting me onto the song and the game show clip.
Editing moment I'm proud of. I like the energy ball bit that I did in the TikTok conspiracy video. That was really fun. I don't usually do funny bits often because I'm more of like the educational side of editing and Josh is more of like the funny bits, but when I do them, I do enjoy them. The Lovelock Cave citation pages were something I also really liked. The Perihelion animation I did in the Ghost of the Green Sahara video was something I was proud of because that's the first video I ever worked on and also the first animation I did for the channel, so I was like, wow, I'm a professional. This is awesome.
The peanut butter in the box from Ancient Aliens 2, that was me and those were my hands. Milo recorded that like off the cuff and I was like, hey Milo, can I do a how to basics style video just like slopping peanut butter in a box? I've got a perfect size box for it. He was like, fuck yeah, you can. So Instagram Reels conspiracy theories. Milo like gave me the footage and was like, go for it. Do whatever the fuck you want. And I was like, is Trump sucking Arnold Palmer's dick too far out of the question, and he was like, no, go for it. So I did, and lo and behold, months later, we fucking called it, dude. Like, I mean, we were off on Bubba, but like, who knows what's gonna come out later? Maybe I was right. Maybe I called it.
Favorite Milo bit or line? I honestly think the Nephilim, for example, is a running joke that makes me chuckle when I see people comment it on videos. Also, the apple bit from the Roanoke video made me laugh because of the glass shattering sound that Josh edited in. I didn't expect it at all, and it made me laugh.
For pseudoscience and pseudoarchaeology experience, I have quite a bit of that. I am the person who grew up in the young earth creationist household. I also worked at a natural health shop, which is exactly what it sounds like, where I met all sorts of people, both normal people, weird people, conspiracy theorists. So like, I've had flat earthers, I've had anti-vaxxers, and I've just had generally out there people with wild theories come in. And then while I was teaching, I had a ton of students, mainly my younger ones, come in with like theories that they're like, wait, miss, is this true? Like, what, how can this be true, or how can it not be true, kind of deal. So we always figured it out, or I would do more research on it if it was one I wasn't familiar with. And then we went over if there was any truth in them. Let's just say there rarely was any truth to them, or very much twisting of it. Can I buy you a Lego? Nah. But can you buy me Legos? Yes.
Someone asked, will I join your polycule? No, I will not. But when this video airs, it will be the day after I propose to my girlfriend. I have to be quiet because she's in the other room. Chances are I will be spoken for by then, but also there is a slight chance that I will be so distraught and depressed and heartbroken that I might need a polycule to join. So check in the comments, see if all went well or not. We'll see. I would say wish me luck, but by the time this video comes out, it will have been done. So hopefully all went well.
Excuse me? Come in, Monty. Yeah, you're allowed. If you're gonna be in here, you do have to make an appearance. She doesn't know what's going on. She's very confused. I'm getting tired of talking through the fangs, so it's time for another costume change. All right, this is definitely the last costume change because... oh, my nose. I would not have been mad about the gloves, but I can't believe I almost forgot the nose. The last thing I have here is actually two people that asked similar questions. Luna Celatumbra 3415 and Uncooked Toast 2616 both asked something along the lines of, is there a topic that we want Milo to cover? One thing I think Milo could bring an interesting perspective to is the time cube. There are already very good breakdowns out there, but the element of the blurred line between collective internet joke and real psychosis and conspiracy is very fascinating to me, and I think Milo could shed a unique light on. I also think Roswell would make for a really interesting video. For one thing, it's so universal and pervasive in pop culture, but it's also old enough that a lot of things have now been declassified. And so it goes, the fictions that we have come up with are all far more interesting, and so the reality of the situation never really reaches the fame of the fiction.
Also, just so everybody knows, Milo and I don't live actively in the studio portion. Our house actually does have like insulated windows in some parts of it, and generally we are okay. You don't have to worry. Milo enjoys suffering because he's, let's say it again, from New England. He's from New England, so he loves to suffer. I, on the other hand, am from California, and we do have soft hands in parts of California. I had not experienced the winter very thoroughly before moving here, so I have to have my soft little baby land somewhere in the house, or else Milo's gonna hear about it. What's fun for me as his partner is I get to see a wide range of Milo and not just the persona that he puts forward for all 3 million of you. He is tender, he's caring, and he does get as frustrated at times as in his videos, but I really love that he is actually quite a gentle person, and it's one of his best qualities. I also wanted to say how important this little creature is. She is the highlight of my life and makes my mental health in the deepest of winter so much better. She has 2 different colored eyes. She's a pretty girl. My sweet little baby.
You have beautiful eyes.
Oh god, it's me again. I bet you guys thought I could talk, didn't ya? Milo Rossi and his team of certified yappers. Now that you've heard from my wonderful creative team, I'm sure that you have a little bit greater insight on how and why all of the videos happen in the way that they do. And I hope that moving forward, it'll give you also a greater appreciation for just how much time, energy, and love goes into everything that we make. And please, of course, extend your own thank yous to the team in the comments. They absolutely deserve a personal thank you, not tied to me. To end this off, I have to have a brief, sort of sappy moment. Oh no, that bottle cap is gone. We'll find it in the spring. In all my videos and in all my subscriber specials, I thank my audience. You guys already know that I love you, okay? Everything I do it for you. But to end this video, I want to just give my deepest love and appreciation for my team. When I started doing this almost 5 years ago, it was all me. Scripting, filming, editing, networking, everything that had to do with this channel was on my shoulders. Over time, I started to bring more people on board. And again, as I'm sure many creatives out there understand, I always felt a little weird about sort of outsourcing my creative brainchild to others. I was worried whether or not they would truly see the vision or whether or not they would be able to do my work justice. And believe me, in my time working with others, it's had its ups and downs. But every Monday and Wednesday, when the team and I come together for our morning meetings, I feel so incredibly lucky to sit down and look at the faces of the people who have truly made this channel what it is. And to my dearest creative team, each and every one of you has brought something truly unique and beautiful to the channel. Together, we have overcome immense hurdles that the viewing audience will never even be aware of. I have to say from the bottom of my heart that it is the deepest honor to continue working with you. And without you, this channel would be a shell of what it is today. Gianfranco, you and I go way back. We've worked together now for almost 3 years. You out of everyone has seen the channel change the most. And I'm forever motivated and inspired by your incredible cinematic eye and how you're able to use music and Foley and video to bring my monologues to life. Cale, my dear Cale, we have worked together now for just around 2 years, and to say that you've brought a level of polish to the channel is an understatement. Your animations, from your title cards to transitions to the complex 3-dimensional things that we have done in the past that you spend, God knows how many countless hours on, have breathed so much life into every video that we make. Having your experience, drive, and skills on the team has been an absolute blessing. Then we got our Holy Trinity, our 3 Musketeers, Josh, Kayla, and SJ. You all joined at the same time. Josh, I don't know if I've ever met someone with as much of a can-do attitude as you. Sometimes, to a fault, all-nighters. That's partly on me, okay? I'm working on that. We're getting better at it. But I've met few people in my life who are as willing to just get down and dirty, as it were. And seeing you take charge on a lot more of the kind of humorous edits throughout the videos has been an absolute joy. And if my word doesn't mean much, well, at least the audience reaction is proof that you're at least kind of funny. Kayla, hello. Whenever I think of you, I picture that little frog icon that you use on Discord. But I gotta tell you, I don't think I've ever met a frog quite as powerful. I remember when you first started to learn how to do some of the map editing, and I was pleasantly surprised. But your continued dedication to learning more skills and refining the ones that you have is beyond commendable. And your Mogerts and index cards have brought so much to the videos. While everyone in the team leaves a thumbprint in their own way, you have provided sort of a direct microphone to actually hear from the people that work on these videos. And it's something I know the audience recognizes as well. SJ, I love your costumes. From the moment you joined the team, you always kind of had a vision of how to do things efficiently. There is a marked difference in how well the machine of the team has operated since you sort of stepped up to bat in a project management position. And you helped implement things that we've talked about on the channel for a long time, but all of us have just had our hands full. Tracking sheets, calendars, timelines, all those things that, organized people use. And so for all of the work that you've done and continue to do, you have my deepest appreciation. And for recommending Interview with a Vampire. You have my appreciation for that as well. Brittany. I was always terrified of bringing someone onto the team in sort of a management position. And from almost the moment I started on TikTok, I was being hounded with emails of influencer agencies trying to sign me and take a cut. I resisted all of that because I never wanted to sign on with someone that was going to change my vision. But I also knew that there was a certain level of scaling I would never be able to do unless I brought someone on who really knows what they're doing. And Brittany, you really know what you're doing. You've helped organize travel. You've helped get me to conferences. Hell, you put together the entire Northeast tour that we did last fall, and are currently in the trenches of putting together a national tour that'll be happening at the end of this year. Mark your calendars, guys. I'm going across the country. You are an absolute powerhouse and are capable of doing what would take about 10 of me to achieve in the same amount of time. And every single one of the smiling faces in every single one of the sold-out shows on tour this fall is because of you. Smalls, hello. You know all too well how many words I have to read in order to make these videos. I am not infallible. I am infallible? I am fallible. I can fuck up. You know I take my credibility very seriously, and Smalls, you help that credibility stay that way. And it makes me really happy to have had you as a second pair of eyes on so many videos now, because it makes me wonder how, if you weren't there, how many mistakes could have slipped through the cracks. I greatly admire your ability to be self-directed. When I'm deep in the trenches of a project, you are really good at finding something else in our roster to continue research on. I also can't believe about that cat that just showed up while we were on the call. That's still absolutely baffles me. Last but certainly not least, Z. I want to thank you for a great many things. For your incredible time and artwork. For your ability to breathe life into things without me even needing to explain to you what I'm looking for. For how good you are at keeping an eye on the pulse of the audience to figure out what sorts of things are going to truly resonate with people and what people actually want. But most of all, I want to thank you so deeply for just being a wonderful partner. I think it's kind of cosmic that science communication is what brought us together, and now here we are doing it together. That's a pretty beautiful thing. I feel so incredibly lucky and honored to have you by my side, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I greatly look forward to the road ahead, and I love you so very deeply. And last and certainly least, I'd like to thank myself. That's right, it's me, the guy that did everything. All of this is because of me, and I'm fucking awesome. I say funny things and I drink beer, and that's all it takes, guys. That's all it takes. All right, that's enough rambling, guys. I've been standing on the side of this trail talking for 40 minutes now, so I might actually go ski and enjoy my Tuesday that I'm taking off. But I'd like to thank you all so very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave an interaction. Likes, comments, shares, subscriptions, all that stuff helps boost the video in the algorithm, which helps us continue making these videos for free. Since this is also one that's a little bit more about the team, it doesn't do quite as well in the algorithm, so I'd appreciate any boost you guys can give it. That means a lot, helps us do what we do here. If you'd like to support us more directly and give yourself a little something to show for it, check out the shop. Get your hands on some sweet designs. Remember, these bad boys, they could be yours. And you can rest easy knowing that your money isn't going to some, it's not going to Walmart or Amazon. It's helping us here continue doing what we do. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. Remember to tune in for episode 3 of the Uncut Vermont podcast, April 1st. And remember to stay curious.
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 Stay inquisitive.
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 And I'll see you 4 million. Oh yeah, I'm sure that looks terrible. POV, you're 9 inches tall. POV, you're 9 inches.
You know, those... Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Ski the east, baby. Ski the east.
Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. Fuck you.
Hi, everybody. I totally thought you were gonna hear me coming.
No.
I was like, I was waiting for your sentence.
Your quiet little voice.
Yeah, I'm wearing my moccasin.
I couldn't hear you. They're filming Uncut Vermont right now upstairs, and they need to ply themselves with as much alcohol as possible.
And as a kid, I really wanted to be a wolf. Sure, I'll have that. I pretty much always knew I wanted to be... Okay, nope. A wolf.
Built this amazing project. Now 3 of you. Yeah. 3 of you. Only 3 of you are enjoying this. Happy 3 subscribers special, everybody. So glad to be with you right now, all 3 of you.
I don't want to hear shit about me coming out of my binding and falling down, okay? I've been doing this a long time. I know what I'm doing, I swear.
Not anthropological, not archaeological. Farmer... What the fuck is the word I'm looking for? Word for agriculture. That's the word I'm looking for. Agriculture, Jesus.
And then there's glass shattering. I'm pretty sure Josh added that. I asked him, he did. So I don't know why I said pretty sure, because he did. I'm gonna say that again.
And most importantly, hopefully I don't join a polycule.
Oh, that's just lewd, isn't it?
Look at that creature. Look at that creature. Creature, look at camera. Oh, I probably shouldn't get lipstick on you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you've been lipstick.
All right, toodaloo, nerds. Woo!